Hi, my name is Stefan Lindgren. I'm the CTO of Talkpool, and I will talk a little bit about our sensors for smart buildings and a little bit about the use cases behind them. So let's go. First, something about Talkpool. Talkpool has been around since year 2000. We are a listed company on the Nasdaq First North in Stockholm, and we are fairly a global company, so we have about we are present in Europe, in Middle East, Africa, and in Central America. What we're doing is that we're building all kind of infrastructure. We are building for 3G and for fiber and any kind of communication. And that skills and capabilities were brought into the IT space. We've been working with IoT and with LoRaWAN back since 2016, and we're also running IoT networks. So, why select the Talkpool sensor? First, it is a mature sensors for mass volume. So we're having high quality, we're having a very stable stack and good implementation for it. It's been very much proven into the Things network stack as well. You're having a really good battery life in it, and it is well tested for that. And the measurement application is also very good in it. One other differentiating factor is the security parts in the sensors. All our sensors having hardware-based security. I did a longer talk in the Things conference in Amsterdam. And you can also see that one on the Things Networks channels on YouTube. You can also see it on the in the URL or the QR code below. On the hardware-based security, it is have several mechanisms. Both that we're having support for secure boot and encrypted firmware, so it is really safe from that point of view. And also all keys are stored in hardware-based memory or hardware-based security. Another important aspect as well, that is the ease of mass deployment and for logistics chains for it. With the support of the joint server from the Things industry, we're having a full support for mass deployment of it, so it's very scalable and it's you can use also distribution chains without jeopardizing the security. Then the question is, why going for smart buildings, which is one of our major use cases. One thing is that it is a mature industry and is ready for IoT, and LoRa is a perfect application. Either that you can build the network together with your application for a building, and in many places there is a Things network or Things industry IoT network already in place. It is a huge addressable market, and there is a lot of money tied into it as well. And it's direct savings for the clients. So by doing sub-metering, the clients, the real estate owner, can directly send the invoicings for all the utility to the clients. The valuation of that building are increasing since the operating expense is lower. Another important part that is also used in the sub-metering is green building certification. And one of the reasons why companies are interested of that is to get lower rates on their loans, as well as having the certification of the building so it can be applicable to the global real estate market, which increase the valuation of the buildings. The third big saving is the energy optimization of heating or cooling by using carbon dioxide sensors and temperature sensor to measure the actual value, the actual temperature in the building, together with predictions of with the weather prediction, and then reducing the energy consumption. And typically we are achieving between 20 and 30% of the energy bill by doing this. In addition, there is a lot of soft values in this as well. So of course the sustainability are improving in the building since they are using less power. By reducing the risk with active monitoring, also really good for sustainability. By measuring the air quality in terms of carbon dioxide and particles, also the well-being in the buildings are improved. And that is also leading to better health and better productivity. Going into the sensors, we're having the temperature humidity sensor, and we have the carbon dioxide sensors and particle sensors at different part. And going into the details of each sensor, and these sensors, they should be used for indoor air quality monitoring, HVAC optimization, or building damage prevention. But they are meant to be indoor or in non-condensating environment, so please don't use them outdoors. Digging into the specifics of the different sensors, you have the 1110, and that has a 10 years battery life with 5 minutes reporting interval. You have the, they are supporting both OTA or the ABP, and it's also configurable over the air with the reporting intervals, so you can further optimize the life length of it by changing the reporting interval, for example. The accuracy is plus minus 0.2 degrees and 2% of the relative humidity. The carbon dioxide sensors, the 1210, that has a 5-year battery life length, and then you're measuring every minute and reporting the value every 20 minutes. One unique feature with it is also that when the carbon dioxide level is changing more than configurable value, typically 100 ppm, then you're getting automatic additional measurements in between. And that is really good for optimization of HVAC. For example, if you're having a conference room and a lot of people coming into the room, the sensors are measuring that directly and is sending extra measurement in reports in order to optimize the network. And then you have the 1700, the particle sensor. It measures the particle matters, PM10, 2.5 and 1.0, together with the temperature and humidity. It is powered by over USB with USB adapter, but it's also supporting 24-volt DC, which is quite common in buildings for HVAC applications. It is using laser scattering technology in order to detect these very small particles. And the particle matter, that is typically the very small smog or the particles that is very bad for the human health, the very small particles that go far into the lungs. And moving over more to the utility metering and sub-metering, then we have the water meters. And here we have support for all the different ranges of meters, and it's typically for water flow consumption, leakage detection, and anti-fraud. So all the sensors are, if you have a constant flow in the meters, you're getting notifications. So it's a huge savings that can be achieved just by this feature alone. And going into these different sensors, use them for the real estate, for tenant invoicing, or for utility companies, for the larger meters. For commercial buildings, we're using a lot of the different sensors for the sub-metering as well, or in industries for industrial process monitoring, where a lot of hot or cold water are used in the process. But they are not meant to be used for measuring chemicals, so use it for different types of water. Going into the details of the different sensors, we have the small sensors for apartments, the OI1310, and it's a single jet water meter. It's IP68, and it's measuring the mechanical meter with an infrared diode. It has 10 years life length, which is the same as what is needed for the calibration of the water meter itself. And you're getting the reporting typically every 3rd hour with that configuration. If you spread it out, you can get even further measurements. One big thing when it comes to water meters, and especially for hot water meters, that it is about the battery chemistry. So we are using very good batteries that can withstand high temperature over a long time without degrading. The 1320 is the larger multi-jet meter, and that one is typically used for higher flows in buildings, like main meters in multi-tenant buildings, or the meters that utility companies are using. It has the same capability, and it's also IP68 like all our meters, so it can be placed also outdoors without any damage to the electronics. For meters that is very difficult position, for example, that is submerged under the water, or where you have really bad signal conditions, for example, deep down in wells or in very deep basements, we have the 1410, where you can where we have divided the electronics from the mechanical meter itself. So putting the active parts up where you have good signal conditions, and the meter by the pipes naturally. There we can having up to 1.5 meter of cable in between, so that you can always achieve a good signal. When you are, all our sensors are supporting the Things network and Things industry part. When you're adding it, you're doing like normal, just going into the web interface and adding it either individually or by bulk import. We have also support for the Things Industry joint server, so we can you can contact the Talkpool and we can provide you with a manifest, so you can easily update a lot of sensors without having any of the keys shared in by intermediate vendors. For decoding the data, all the sensors decoders are placed on Bitbucket. So please follow the link or the QR code in order to download the decoder, and let's get started. That was everything for me. Big thank you. Have a good day.